Welcome! Today we're diving into something really powerful, a concept called Fudoshin, which is all about the art of the immovable mind. You know those days where just one tiny thing goes wrong and it completely wrecks your mood? Well, we're going to explore a philosophy that can help turn that brittleness into some serious resilience.
And this quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It paints such a clear picture. So often, we feel like that dry wood. A little bit of pressure, an unexpected comment from a coworker, a project that hits a snag, and just like that, snap, we break. But what if there was another way? What if we could be more like bamboo? So let's talk about this brittle mind. What does that actually feel like? You know the feeling. It's when a single rude email can just hijack your entire week. Or a small mistake feels like this absolutely catastrophic failure. It's living in a reactive state, where we let everything outside of us completely dictate how we feel on the inside. To really bring this to life, I want you to meet someone. Let's call him Hunter. He's a smart marketing manager, and he's about to give the presentation of his entire career. You can just imagine the pressure, right? Everything feels like it's riding on this one moment. The project, his reputation, maybe even his job.
And right there, in the middle of his big moment, it happens. His heart just starts hammering in his chest, his vision gets all tunnel-like, he can't catch his breath, it's a full-blown panic attack. He just freezes. In that moment, he's not bamboo. He is that dry, brittle wood, and under all that pressure, he just snapped.
That moment, as awful as it was, becomes a huge wake-up call for Hunter. He knows, deep down, something has to change. So his search for an answer leads him to a new way of thinking, a philosophy that isn't about avoiding the wind, but about becoming the kind of bamboo that can bend with it. And this is what he finds, Fudoshin. In Japanese, it means the immovable mind. Now, what's so fascinating about this is it's not about having zero emotions. It's not about becoming some kind of robot. It's actually about building a mind that can observe its own feelings, the fear, the anxiety, the anger, without being completely swept away in the current.
And this comparison just lays it out so perfectly. The drywood mind, it's rigid, it's brittle, it reacts, and ultimately it breaks. But the bamboo mind, that's flexible, it's resilient, it bends. And here's the key, it observes instead of just blindly reacting. This is the whole game-changing shift.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you go from being dry wood to becoming bamboo? Well, it all kicks off with learning how to observe your own inner storm instead of just getting lost in the middle of it. So Hunter finds a guide, a Dr. Takahashi, who teaches him this technique that is, well, it's almost deceptively simple. When that wave of anxiety starts to build, the first thing you do is just pause. That's it, for 10 seconds. Step 2, you observe the physical feeling. Is your chest tight? Is your stomach in knots? And then step 3, and this is the hardest but most important part, you don't judge it. You just notice it's there.
And by practicing this, something pretty amazing starts to happen for Hunter. He begins to create this tiny little bit of space between himself and his anxiety. See, he's no longer just the panic. He's also the person who's watching the panic. He's learning that a feeling can exist inside of him without having to be in the driver's seat.
So Hunter's getting better at this. He's handling the small storms, the daily winds of work stress. He's really building that bamboo mind. But now, he's about to face the kind of test that none of us are ever ready for. I mean, it's one thing to handle a stressful presentation, right? But what happens when that wind isn't just a strong gust, but a full-blown Category 5 hurricane? What happens when life throws something truly devastating your way?
And there it is. The hurricane arrives. Hunter gets the news that his father has cancer. The fear, the grief, the total uncertainty. It's an emotional storm that makes his old panic attacks look like a spring breeze. This is the real test of Fudoshin. In this moment, Hunter leans on another really powerful Japanese idea, Shikata Ga Nai. It basically means it cannot be helped. Now, this isn't about giving up or being passive, not at all. It's about a kind of radical acceptance. It's about seeing with total clarity what you can control and what you can't, and then pouring your energy only into what you can.
And this is such a critical point. Fudoshin didn't make Hunter cold or distant. It did the absolute opposite. Because he could observe his own grief without letting it shatter him, he was able to be completely present for his family. He became their rock in the storm. He was bending, for sure, but he was not breaking.
Hunter's story,
Man, it just illustrates this whole philosophy so powerfully. It shows us that being resilient isn't about never having problems. It's about how we anchor ourselves when those problems inevitably find us. It all comes down to your roots and what's actually in your control.
And that really brings us to the core lesson of this entire explainer. If you take away just one thing, let it be this. You cannot control the storm. You can't. You can't control a diagnosis or the economy or what other people say or do, but what you can always control are your roots. You can control how you ground yourself, how you choose to respond, how you observe your own mind.
So, what does this path of bamboo actually look like in practice? Well, it's about being immovable in your core spirit while staying flexible in your methods. It's about observing your inner world without judging it. And it's about accepting what you truly cannot change so you can pour all of that precious energy into the things you can.
So, I'll leave you with a question to carry with you. We all have storms in our lives, right? Big ones, small ones, at work, at home, inside our own heads. The question is never if the storm will come. The only question is how you'll face it. So, what storm in your life will you choose to face, not like dry wood, but like bamboo?